Last time on Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. What about you? No!
It's a lie!
God damn it! Hey guys, Raiden here, and before you start watching this episode, I just wanted to say a lot of my commentary is lost, so there's gonna be a lot of silence within this part of the trial. I think the latter half recorded okay, but just saying, that's why I'm not talking so much. Enjoy!
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Geez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats.
But it does.
My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
What?
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch-black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from under floor.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that. That'd let the culprit find her.
Is that a reference to the second case?
The floorboards.
Or the second game? Sorry, for those of you guys who don't know, the second game, for those of you guys just watching like this, it's solved because you can see glowing paint. So they could tell where to stab someone from under the floorboards. It's a super awesome reference. Glad I caught that.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
Her corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right? If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit.
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When? So not during seance?
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she?
That's true.
How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
Yeah. This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. Next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
So she was killed when the room was dark?
But she was inside cage, right? Going to think it impossible to kill her then.
Wait. Hold on. With the way the rock is positioned and where she's at, like the rest of her body would have fallen in the floorboard or something. But it makes me suspicious. Like, it makes me think that they set up the little sickle under the floorboard beforehand, and then they somehow removed the floorboard, causing her to fall. And that's what that thump sound was her falling off the floorboard. But then the part that doesn't make sense to me is how she got stabbed in the back of the neck. Because even if she fell backwards a full 180, which is kind of weird, how'd she get back up there unless someone pushed her back up? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm still trying to think of how this happened.
Then she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a different time.
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads.
Huh?
Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
I mean, we are in a circle. Gun, 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 bullet, gun.
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't
Yeah?
during the seance.
Uh-huh.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
It was Himiko.
It was me.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit.
There's no doubt!
Because it says Kiyo was the one who placed the sheet over the cage and removed it off. That is really important. That might not be impossible, but there's no evidence for it.
When Tenko got killed, it...
Okay, Gonta, say the thing. Gonta, say the thing. We only have 2 minutes, Gonta.
She was dead when the cage was lifted.
Say your thing, it doesn't really make sense.
What about moment cage was lifted?
That's wrong!
Good, okay. Because Kiyo had to remove the sheet first,
No,
before he
it
even saw
wasn't
it.
possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
What? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel right
Okay.
here!
That was unexpected. I expected her to be like, oh, I'm so wrong. But she's like, no, fuck you.
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
Whatever you say, Miyu.
Tenko died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage. They stuck the thin blade through the gaps of the cage, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red!
But the weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the and that's none other than Kiyo!
There was only one thing, and that was that there has to be a hole in Miyu's logic somewhere. All I have to do is show the
blade's
evidence
all
that...
you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
I'll cut through your words.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the, like, I like the idea
Wait
of
just
this
a minute.
game, but the
Tenko
controls
wasn't
on it
sitting
are a
down
little
inside
weird.
the cage.
It's hard to explain. It's kind of stiff.
She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone, and the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
No worries, Miyu. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Gonta's like, yeah, no worries. I'm an embarrassment too.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Not during the seance or from below the floor. Then it's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, for a living person.
Huh?
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
Okay, Kokichi, stop trying to scare Kaido.
What are you talking about? That's not possible.
Although
You
the whole
don't know
screen's
that.
just rumbling.
Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that. Screw spirits.
Stop that now.
Angie's spirit killed Tenko? Why?
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
What if Tenko killed Angie, and then Angie's spirit came back for revenge?
Like I said, that's impossible. Spirits can't be culprits.
Then explain how the culprit killed Tenko under these impossible circumstances.
Well,
Like, the only idea I have is that that piece of tape was used to, it was taped on the top of the cage somehow, and maybe no one noticed. And, like, they taped the sickle on top, and it fell off and hit her, although that's kind of hard for the sickle to, like, just fall down and hit her. I mean, the blade's probably long enough, but that also makes me wonder how the sickle got from all the way where it was to near that other room.
See? You can't explain, can you? Only a spirit could have done that!
wait, I know. What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage? If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance.
No. If there was someone else in the cage, we would have noticed.
I agree with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
Yeah, they could have lifted up the floorboard and gone in. I actually didn't think of that. I was trying to be too elaborate, and something happened that just passed my brain.
Nonsense. There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
What?
Also, the culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time. I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
The they she's referring to? The culprit could have killed who was in the cage at any time. I really don't want to say it's you, but... Okay, I'm sorry. I just thought, okay? I don't really get you. You're really narrow-minded for a detective. Everyone's staring at me and think I'm stupid. What's the question? Who could have killed Tenko from inside the cage? From inside the cage? Well, time for the abrupt guessing game. Wow, Sweet, you goddamn stupid. I'm sorry. I actually don't know. If it wasn't you, then it was... Kaede! No. Gonta! Yeah, I was pretty sure that was wrong.
Damn it!
Okay, the only person I haven't blamed that's alive. No. Okay, seriously. I would never kill Tenko.
I was wrong!
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm just playing the biggest guessing game in the world right now. Does it mean Tenko killed herself? I don't understand. Okay, what? Someone please explain this to
Maki
me.
is referring to Tenko herself.
The way that question was phrased made it sound like I had to choose someone else. Who could have killed Tenko from inside the cage? If it was like, I guess it's the only way you could phrase the question without spoiling it now that I could think about it. It's just so far-fetched, I guess I'd say.
Are you saying Tenko is the culprit?
She committed suicide.
What?
Suicide?
If she committed suicide, it would explain a lot of things we couldn't figure out. She volunteered to be in the cage, and then stabbed herself during the seance.
She did sound like she was purposefully saying goodbye.
It wouldn't matter how dark the room was.
But the sickle she was stabbed with was under the floor, right? If Tenko had stabbed herself, wouldn't the sickle still be inside the cage?
Oh my god. Mew actually said something smart.
Perhaps that explains why the floorboard was removed. After stabbing herself with the sickle, she threw it underneath the floor.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what? But if she stabbed herself in the spinal cord, how was she, like, in any shape to take the sickle and throw it, like, 10 feet away under the floorboard? Because the sickle was so far away from where she died. Are they telling me that she stabbed herself in the back of the neck with no nerve damage, no spinal cord damage, and no damage to her jugular, and then threw it all the way across the room? What?
So she took off the floorboard to get rid of the sickle?
Yes, that makes sense to Gonta.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for Tenko to commit suicide.
Maybe I wasn't too far off with the theory I had earlier. You know, about Tenko killing Angie.
I don't think that's right, though. I'm still putting that on Kiyo for some reason.
Yeah?
Because Tenko and Angie were fighting for your attention, right?
Hey Angie, when did you brainwash Himiko?
Tenko's pent-up frustration led her to commit such an atrocity. Her conscience couldn't handle it anymore, so she decided to end her own life.
That doesn't sound very realistic.
What?
But if she was gonna kill herself, why do it during the seance?
She wanted to hide the truth of her suicide.
Really? Why?
There could only be one reason to hide it in a killing game, right? It's to take us down with her.
Okay, making that face again.
Take us down?
She wanted us to pick the wrong answer during the class trial, so she could bring us all down. She wanted us to die with her. Okay, well, she probably just wanted Himiko to die with her, but still.
But what are you saying? Tenko wasn't like that.
I don't know. In my mind, just because the type of person I am, that seems like the farthest stretch I have ever seen. Like, oh no, Himiko is mad at me for 5 seconds. Better commit suicide and make sure everyone dies. Like, what? I don't understand this case at some points. You guys were very right.
She told me.
Keep your chin up and live a life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else.
What if all of that was just a lie?
I don't think so.
A lie?
Wait, we should believe Tenko's last words.
The true terror of class trials is that you shouldn't believe everything said.
Himiko, you said that Tenko would never do anything like that. But how can you be so sure? Did you guys actually know each other? People keep all sorts of secrets. Like Maki. She hid the fact that she's a cold-blooded killer. Is it wise of us to trust other people wholeheartedly in this kind of situation?
Jeez, you're such a naive dude.
Naive?
What? He's the one who's naive. He's actually being really open right now, although I still think the suggestion's pretty ridiculous.
We're all just people, you know? Of course we're gonna have some secrets. What matters is whether there's any malice behind them.
People can lie about how malicious their hidden secrets really are.
Well, duh. It's impossible to know for sure what others are thinking. That's why it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself. If you
Wait,
get betrayed,
what?
it's not their fault. It's your fault for believing in them.
Wait, what?
That's why I believed in Maki Roll, because I wanted to believe in her.
Just because you're acting all cool doesn't mean you get to skip training.
Hey, come on. Don't you think you're being a little too strict?
Well, we come from different backgrounds. So for now, let's agree to disagree. No one's ever called me naive before. And from Kaito? Seriously?
He sounds like it's gotten under his skin, like Kaito's the exact opposite of him in every way.
Whether or not I believe, my heart can't reach Tenko anymore. But I want to believe in her. She wouldn't commit suicide. She wouldn't try to take us down. That's what I want to believe.
Me too. Gonta no can believe Tenko commits suicide.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, that would answer all of our questions.
If you insist we believe in Tenko, then provide a reason to do so.
Wait, but it doesn't mean that at all, because it still doesn't make sense how she did all of whatever. A proper reason?
All right, I'll give you a reason.
Really? Okay, didn't expect you to.
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Maki? If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like. But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
Believe in the me that believes in you, that believes in me, that believes in Kaito, that believes in himself. I don't believe Tenko would kill herself because of what she said. Okay, everyone, I'll see you guys after the seance. They'll never know I was gonna commit suicide. She said see you guys after. I doubt she had a sudden change of heart. Just because we don't know how she was killed doesn't mean that it was suicide. We shouldn't be satisfied with that. If we want to keep thinking, we'll find the truth. Wait, is that what he said? And if we keep thinking, we'll find the truth. And that means we have to believe in Tenko. I'll make them all believe. Intermission. Oh no, not intermission. More.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid.
Kamida already tried that.
Tenko's not that kind of person.
I doubt they do it again.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle.
Tenko died in a crouched position. The injury was deep in the back of her, or the injury in the back of her neck was deep, but probably not enough to kill her immediately. I don't know what the other options are.
And then
Lose
stab
floorboard.
yourself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
It really doesn't, though. That sickle's really far away. And even if it says that it was not enough to kill her immediately, is that really what she'd spend her last moments doing? Is throwing the sickle somewhere?
Finally, with the last of her strength.
She would have been able to throw it away in no time, no? That is, I suppose, unless her death was instant.
I was wrong!
What if I lie about it? Can I lie here? You guys said where the music... Oh, shit. I didn't realize I was how low on health I was.
It would explain how she died during the seance.
Like, you guys keep telling me that it's either that, like, there's vocals in areas where you can lie, and I feel like I have to lie now because I haven't done it before.
Finally, with the last of her strength.
I'll reveal the truth.
That doesn't make any sense to me how that just worked. But you know what? I failed
Tenko
enough.
couldn't have
I'll
thrown the
take it.
sickle under the floor.
I'll take it.
Because she died instantly.
Instantly?
I've actually seen like a few people go like, oh, when you mess up and then immediately say you push the wrong button, you're lying. Or like, when you get lucky, you're just lying. You're looking at a guide. I've seen that like twice now. And guys, have you seen how much I've messed up in Ace Attorney in this? If I started lying now, there would be very little point. You guys have seen my logical fallacies over and over again.
I'm certain of it. My investigation determined that she died instantly.
What's your opinion, Maki? I'd like to hear from someone who specializes in murder.
Ah, he said it. He knows. He watches the Radiant Dawn LPs.
Maki.
You're right. I completely forgot about that important detail. Tenko died instantly.
Wait, what? That's not what it said, though.
What?
As an assassin, I specialize in killing my targets swiftly.
I know you told me that, but that's not what the file says. Why is it like that? Why would the file lie to me? And why did it not update after you told me?
I have no doubt that Tenko was killed immediately.
Words of a true killer. Pretty sure we can believe everything she said.
Thank you, Maki.
How could you forget that, Maki roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
Yeah, apologize to me. I racked my brain for like 15 minutes.
Excuse me?
It's okay, Kaito, really. No apology necessary. Anyway, Tenko died so suddenly that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tenko wouldn't commit suicide.
Thank goodness, Himiko.
Which means someone definitely killed Tenko during the seance.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
No, there must have been a way. We're gonna figure it out.
Whatever you say, Kaito.
Did any of the participants witness anything peculiar during the seance?
No, it was dark. We didn't see anything.
If you know something, please speak up. It could
All we
be the
heard
key
was
to
the thump
solving
noise. Not a bad idea. We should remember what happened at the seance. Let me try to remember. I'm sure there's something. I need some kind of clue that will help me solve this mystery. Glad I got that lie, though.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was
It's not out of the
perfect,
ordinary.
yet it failed. How utterly strange.
The
Now
sound
that I
during the
think about
seance.
While we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
I agree.
Oops, I probably should have listened to that whole thing. Usually I try to, but this time it just popped into my mind.
Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
It sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard.
My guess would be the thing on top of the cage, but that doesn't make any sense to me because it's still up there.
What could have fallen down?
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
A loud sound. Something hit the floorboards. Maybe that sound had something to do with the other... Wait, like, I have a theory, but there's no way it could be fixed. Unless, like, the statue... It looks like the place on top of the cage. There's a place where it just opens, maybe, and, like, the top of the cage opens. And maybe the statue could have fallen through there and had a sickle on the back, and that hit her in the back of the head. But then that wouldn't make any sense, because then Kiyo, if he's the one who did it, which I'm pretty sure he is, maybe not Tenko. I think he's the one who did it for Angie. But, whoever it is ran over there, and they would have had to pick up the statue, throw away the thing, and, like, put her... It just doesn't make sense to me. And there's no reason for the floorboard when that happens, unless it's when she hit the floorboard that it collapsed through. Wait, what's the question? What caused the sound that was heard during the blah, blah, blah? Dog statue. Maybe the statue on top of the cage made that sound. It'd be pretty loud if it dropped, but it was still on the cage after the seance. It's not like you'd forget something like that, Suichi. Nope, okay. My theory is completely wrong. Gotcha. What else is heavy? Could it have been Kokichi falling? No, because he came in the room after that, I think. Oh, it was the cross piece under the floor that fell? And that has nothing to do with the sound during the seance. Nobody's gonna believe you anymore if you keep saying random things you know. That's all I know how to say, though. Everyone's staring at me. I screwed up and they think I'm a fraud. Was it the stone? Doesn't make any sense. Was it the cage? I don't know what this could be. Maybe the iron cage made that sound? The cage is heavy, but I don't think there's any signs of it being moved. I don't think that's the cause, do you?
Damn it!
Damn it! Oh my god, did it specifically want the loose floorboard and not the cross piece under the floor? I completely forgot those were two different pieces of evidence.
The floorboard coming
I thought they
off
were
had
one and the
something to do
same.
with that sound. That floorboard came loose at some point during the seance, right?
Could the floorboard have made such a loud sound, though?
It was the sound of an intense impact.
If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
That is true. There would have had to be a strong impact to make that sound. But what was it? What could it possibly be?
All right, then. Let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now.
How does that help, Kaido? Non-stop debate.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that
Was it-
statue was
Probably the
still
cross
on top
piece
of
under the
cage.
floor now, wasn't it?
Culprit hide under floor, then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the
Oh.
only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know me and balls are the best of friends?
Why is that even an option? I agree. If I think about everyone's testimony and combine
So
the
what made
facts,
the
I think I know what it
floorboard come
is.
loose?
Maybe not the
from
correct
the
statement, but I
sound,
think
there
I
must
know
have been
what we're
considerable
trying to say
force.
here.
Underfloor.
I think this is
Then
it.
stood up with such might.
Oh, that's not the one. The culprit hit their head on that, though, the floorboard. On that tough floorboard, they'd be dead.
Damn it!
Culprit hide underfloor. Then stood up with such might.
Sorry, Gonzo, it's not right this time. I'm pretty sure I'm right
Someone
on
must have
this one.
stomped.
Gotcha.
I agree.
That felt good. Especially seeing so wrong I've been this whole time about everything.
Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
Surprisingly, Kokichi is right.
The floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation, one of the cross pieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
Someone? You mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the cross piece?
What did they stand to gain? That's the question. To solve this question, they'll need to think carefully about the crosspiece and the floorboard. Tenko's body was at the... That's a good diagram. Tenko's body was at one end of the loose floorboard. And the crosspiece that had been cut was on the other end of the floorboard. The unsupported part was the outside the cage, so it could have been stomped on. Only one of the cross pieces was cut, the other two were intact. Oh, meaning that someone could have come up behind the cage and stepped on it like that. Oh, and they taped the sickle to the top. That's what happened. It's not that the cross piece dropped. It's that they kicked it down and the sickle was taped to the top of the cage or something of the sort. And maybe no one had seen it? I don't think so. I think we'd see it carrying it. Or maybe it had something to do with a statue. I'm not sure, but there was some way that that sickle was at the top of the cage. And the other was right at the center, in the center, right about where the edge of the cage was. What was the culprit attempting to achieve by stomping on the floorboard? Come on, think. Hangman's Gambit. Boop, 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 boop. What is that? What were they trying to... L-I-F-T? No? Let's just guess letters, like we always do. A. Damn it. Nope. Incorrect already. S. Okay, S. We have a start. What happened when the loose floorboard was stepped on? Say... Is it sickle? Say. This game is brutal. Holy shit. I didn't think I was losing that much health from playing it.
Is this...
No, it's not over, because there's infinite
can't let it
retries, and
in
they give us a
here.
good grade at the end anyway. I know it starts with an S. That's a head start. Nope, not SWA. Wait, I don't know what that could be. Set... So... Seance? No. I really don't know what it's trying to say here. Boy, am I going to lose all my health again real quick. C? 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 C's? Sew? I am so lost, guys. I am so lost. C... Let's go for S. Seesaw? Seesaw what? Seesaw... Seesaw... C... F? Seesaw F? F-A? Seesaw effect? Are you serious? You know what? This is the worst part, is that they fixed Hangman's Gambit, but they attached a bunch of bullshit words onto it.
That's right. The
The
floorboard might be
ropeway,
used
the
as a
seesaw effect. Don't you know all these, Zeno? Duh. Only an idiot wouldn't know that.
Yeah? A seesaw?
The crosspiece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off. The other two crosspieces holding up that board were close to the cage. Meaning, if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no crosspiece, the next crosspiece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever. A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
Her whole body lifted up?
Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that, unless they used the sickle.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
Huh? How?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
The floorboard seesaw, the cage, and the blood on the white fabric. What conclusions can I draw from this? There's only one place where the sickle could have been placed. Underneath the floorboard, on the top of the cage.
That's it!
It's weird that that's the first thing that came to my mind, yet it's the thing that we haven't brought up until just now.
Facing down. The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage.
But didn't we carry... Oh, that's right. They taped it to the fabric and then stuck the blade through the cage. Ah, I get it.
Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place. It's true that the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble. But the statue's weight kept it from falling over. Once everything was in place, if you stepped hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage. She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
The 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouched position. But with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, it could compensate for the blade's length.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim.
Wait, and that's... Oh no, Kiyo did this. Because that's why the stone is there. He placed the stone deliberately so it would line up with the scythe so she would die.
That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
That impact make floorboard come loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide. Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
1 second she's like, yeah, this is great. It's like one of those TV shows. Next second she's like, what?
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know? They can't get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box.
That's the interesting thing about this, is that, like, a lot of the times the murders have nothing to do with their actual talents. They just happen to be doing something that's near or with their talent.
Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
What?
Yeah?
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Huh? Why her?
Because she's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
Why is that? You're the one that put on the sheet.
The only one? Why's that?
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand.
By cutting the crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean?
Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room. That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle room. The middle room's always the best for stuff like this.
Oh yeah! Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance!
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow.
You were quite vocal about the seance, Kiyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time. Then she waited for me to host the seance and suggested the middle room. She led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it.
That's not true, Kiyo. It's super you, isn't it?
Then,
even though it does line up.
She killed Tenko, all according to plan.
That's a lie, right? Himiko did such a thing?
But that also makes me wonder, because the blade would have had to been pre-prepared on the cloth. And Kokichi was the one who grabbed the cloth. For some reason, I don't think it's Kokichi. Maybe Kokichi didn't notice? Because there's a lot of factors that go into this that don't make sense. Because Kokichi's the one who grabbed the cloth, but Kiyo's the one who placed the rock. But Himiko's the one that chose the room. So...
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Wait! We don't know that, right? He's wrong, right, Himiko?
Kill
Whoops, sorry.
Tenko?
Do that all the time. Here. He said he's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
I killed Tenko?
Himiko?
Why does she sound surprised?
What's wrong, Himiko?
It's true that using the middle room was Himiko's idea. Does that mean Himiko really killed Tenko? What? Would something like that really happen? Something so cruel? Yeah, okay, we're finally at the intermission. Yeah, that was 2 hours before we hit the intermission. The trials are getting a bit longer. Even though there's less people, so that's surprising. But, yeah. really glad I picked this game to play. I am super happy with it. I know I'm silent a lot of the time during the trials, but so interested. And even though I'm failing logically at this constantly, it's still cool to see it all play out. I know that there's a lot of other LPers who probably catch on to things a lot more quickly than I do. Logic puzzles aren't exactly my best ability, I will honestly say. I'm pretty bad at them, regardless of the fact that I play Ace Attorney games and such. So, meh. There's other types of games that I'm good at, but those games usually don't show up on the channel, so whatever. Oh, sorry, I thought I was going to read it. Looks like we've reached the intermission segment, which means it's time for our Guess the Victim quiz. A victim quiz, not a culprit quiz. The only victims... Oh, I should have done that. So, there's this other YouTuber called Weeby News who does a lot of Danganronpa stuff. And what she did is she took a look at all the characters and guessed who was going to die beforehand and then reacted to it afterwards. And who was going to be killers and who was going to survive. So, that was pretty neat. The only victims are the people who... Wait, the only victims are the people who are still watching this drawn-out, boring crap. Why are you being such a downer all of a sudden?
It's okay.
It's okay, I'm sure everyone is happy. How do you know? They could be skipping this entire conversation for all you know. I did. It was an accident. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. The real victim... I'm the real victim here, me. Why are you getting upset? If anything, I'm the real victim. I gotta put up with all this nonsense all the time.
Absolutely right.
That's the right answer, Bautadama. Why? He hasn't said anything.
Hey,
Exactly, because there are no victims. Yep, even if you're killed in this killing game, you're a winner. Because then everyone mourns you and you get tons of posthumous popularity.
Daddy!
Oh, Daddy, you don't need to reveal these kinds of behind-the-scenes details.
All right.
Dying makes you more popular, then we gotta die soon too. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure you guys will. There's 3 of you guys left, and from what I understand, 3 trials left, so... I can't believe there's 3 trials left. Like, there's gonna be a lack of people.
This is my impression of a spooky, scary ghost.
Hey guys, Raiden here, and welcome back to Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. Know it's been a bit, once again. Finally back down to 2 series, thank God, so you guys are gonna get more V3 and more Shadows of Valentia, which I know you guys definitely want more of in both cases, so... let's continue the trial. I think we just passed intermission. I don't remember if I managed to put the whole trial into one video or not, but whatever, let's keep going. I'm fine with real ghosts, but impressions of them... Oh, I forgot. This is all voice acted now. Totally forgot.
Logic does not compute.
Did you hear something?
No, I didn't hear anything.
You know what else is scary? Sweet buns. Yep, tasty, tasty sweet buns.
How is that scary?
So round, so sweet, so delicious.
That doesn't sound scary at all.
I'm scared too. Scared of losing my friends.
Did you hear something?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Monodom's kind of creepy, I have to admit. He's kind of on the weird side.
Answer us, Himiko. You chose the middle room to lure us into your trap, did you not? Then you used that trap to kill Tenko, yes?
I mean, that is some very incriminating evidence right there.
Well, Donkey Lips, did you kill that twat?
Wait, must be some mistake. No way Himiko is culprit.
Then she needs to defend herself. Otherwise, this debate is deadlocked.
I don't care if you gotta use magic to do it, but say something already.
Summons a genie.
Are you even listening?
No, I'm not listening.
What?
I don't care anymore. I'm too tired. Angie died. Tenko died. Why did I have to survive? And now, you're all saying I killed them? I just don't care anymore.
Himiko,
do whatever. If you want to vote for me, then just go ahead.
Oh, geez, she's getting it. What's in front of her face? What is that? Is that a... I think that's a portrait. Oh, yeah, it's a portrait of a dead person. Okay. Oh, wow, that's actually in... Is that actually like a model? Like a 3D model? Huh.
The game gets really blah if the suspect isn't into it.
That's not the problem.
Damn it. Don't tell me you've given up.
Himiko, don't give up.
Don't you understand? My life is riding on the outcome of this trial!
Miu, if you could be, like, graceful for 1 second. Just 1 second. Like, I do have to admit that at first I was willing to give, like, Miu a chance and be like, oh, you know what, she's a fun character. I'm sure she'll kind of, like, soften up in some way towards some people or do some nice things. But no, she's just, like, she's just becoming worse and worse as the game goes on.
Just shut up. I told you, I'm too tired. It's all just a big pain. I can't put up with it anymore.
What are you talking about? If you give up here...
You needn't worry. Himiko was the one who chose that room. Therefore, she is unmistakably the culprit.
Kiyo, you are acting way too strange about this.
Impossible! Himiko would never kill Tenko!
Impossible is the most, like... Impossible!
Himiko not that kind of person! Gonta can tell by Himiko's face!
Her face is practically the same all the time.
Himiko's a little slow, so I don't think she's capable of handling a complicated crime.
I also think Himiko's not the culprit. Somehow.
Is this gonna turn to a scrum debate?
Either way, we gotta look for more possibilities.
That does seem like rather a pointless quest.
Kiyo, stop acting suspicious as shit. Like, come on.
No, it's not. We gotta be strong. Gotta keep thinking. Then we might find new truth. So no give up, Himiko!
Himiko, I know how you feel. I felt the same way after Kaede died. But we can't give up. We survived. We can't give up for the sake of everyone who died. Come on, Himiko. I'm gonna save you.
Performing the seance in that room was Himiko's decision, was it not?
That's true.
What if someone steered her into picking that room?
Of the 3 empty rooms, why did you select the middle one, Himiko? Because you laid your trap there?
Was trap only in that room? Other rooms may be trapped too.
Yeah, even if Himiko picked the room, someone else could have set that trap.
Your opinions are empty words.
That's a whole thing? That felt short. If the culprit's plan were to make Himiko a suspect, they might have persuaded her to choose that room somehow. But how, and what would that tell us? Oh, Gonta's super right. Gonta said that they had trapped the other rooms. Kokichi said that he was investigating the neighboring room where the seance was held and he stepped through one of the floorboards, meaning that the culprit prepared every single room for the situation.
Was trap only in that room?
No, it wasn't, Gonta. You're on to the...
Other rooms may be trapped.
What? What? There we go. That was weird.
I agree.
V consent. Gonta, you can take my virginity now.
It's just like Gonta said. Each room was the same. They were all trapped.
Gonta probably doesn't even know what that is, to be honest.
What? Is that true?
Kokichi will tell you.
I was way too careless. Wait, what are you talking about?
I guess there's no crosspiece supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. What bad luck.
While you were in the room next to the crime scene, you found a loose floorboard, right?
Well, I didn't find it so much as I stepped through it and tripped.
What? Hold on! There was also a loose floorboard in the next room?
So the culprit prepared a trap in all 3 empty rooms, not just the middle one.
If the culprit set traps in all the rooms, then they wouldn't need to select a room themselves.
So the real trap was for someone else to pick a room and take the blame.
That's correct, Kaido. Good work, finally.
I see. We were caught in the culprit's trap all along.
Especially you!
But now there's no reason to suspect Himiko, right?
Himiko, do you remember what Tenko told you?
Keep your chin up and live life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else. It's not like I'll immediately die or anything.
Live life facing forward. She said that to you, right? If you give up on living, you'd be betraying her memory. We're all trying to keep our promises to the dead.
What promise did we make to Rantaro? We barely talked to him. Come on, Suichi, remember what I told you. Rantaro, is that you? You can bet your 100% cotton crotch-crushing pants it is. It's me, Ghost Rantaro. Rantaro, I don't know what to do. What would you do in this situation? Well, that doesn't really matter. What you have to do is ask yourself the most important question of all. Why does the Easter Bunny deliver eggs? Wait, what? Well, the Easter Bunny doesn't even lay eggs. It doesn't make that much sense. But how does that help me know who killed Tenko? Man, I don't fucking know. Figure it out yourself. But aren't you my spiritual guide? Nah, dude, you're just batshit. Now remember what I told you. To believe in myself and always do my best? Stop going to my room. It's kinda creepy. Just cause I'm dead, you can't wear my clothes and cry about Kaede for 9 hours straight.
This trial, it's not just for our lives. It's for everyone who's died as well. That's why we can't give up. This is our responsibility. We live on.
You're right. Yeah, that's right. If I gave up here, I wouldn't be able to face Angie or Tenko.
That's right. So let's do our best.
Alright, I'm not gonna say it's a pain anymore. I won't give up. I'll fight alongside everyone and survive.
Himiko is the weirdest goddamn character development ever. I like her though.
Do not say everyone. After all, the Blackened is still among us.
I find it weird, because now, like, it's super backwards from what it was before. I used to like Miyu quite a bit, and didn't like Himiko that much, and now I'm starting to like Himiko quite a bit, and as I have to deal with more and more of Miyu without any signs of her changing at all, she's starting to become kind of the annoying one.
Jeez, there you go. Killing the mood like usual. But damn, well said, Shuichi. That's what I'd expect from my soul, bro.
Soul bro?
Your soul, bro?
Well, anyway, do you think the Blackened this time has some sort of superpower?
What are you talking about?
Well, as a self-proclaimed expert of stepping through floorboards, isn't it weird that no one stepped through that floorboard before the culprit used it?
Ah, that is a good point.
It must have been barrier magic.
It was not magic, Himiko.
Well, that's one possibility, but I think it might have been something else.
Why did no one step on the floorboard until it was used for the murder? Oh, that's it. That must be the reason. Samugi's account? This is a lot of information. Hold on. Why did no one step on the floorboard? Why did no one step on the floorboard? I actually don't know the answer to this, so worst comes to worst, I'll guess. I'm gonna guess the magic circle.
This is it!
Oh, really?
It's because of the magic circle at the scene of the crime.
Also, it's dark in here, so be sure to watch your step. If the magic circle is broken... Oh, wait, no, that's not Kokichi, sorry. Sorry, Kokichi, I was seancing through your body. Excuse me for a second. That felt really nice to have you inside me, Korekiyo. Well, yes, I tend to get that a lot. If the magic circle is broken, not only will the seance fail, but it may also unleash a curse. Oogly boogly.
Before we began the seance, we were warned not to step on the circle. The floorboard in question was within the circle. That's why no one stepped on it.
So the magic circle's purpose was to keep us away from the whole trick.
That was part of the culprit's plans too?
That's right. In that case, then the culprit, there's no doubt in my mind, they're the one who killed Tenko. Only one person had the opportunity and motive. Boop, 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 boop. Bye, Korekiyo.
It has to be you!
But wait, unless he killed Angie, then
Kiyo.
that's what. Oh.
Was it you?
Whatever are you talking about?
So if it was Kiyo, either A, Kiyo killed both of them, and he's gonna get out of it if he got out anyway. Or B, he only cared about the seance enough to the point where as long as the seance worked and he got to do it once, he would be okay with death.
I'm talking about Tenko's murder.
Kiyo?
Why do you suspect me?
Because you were the one who drew the magic circle. The circle kept us from discovering the seesaw trick, but that's not all it was for. In order to make the murder succeed, variables like Tenko's position and the placement of the cage needed to be defined. And those variables were defined by using the magic circle. In short, the circle itself was the most important tool in this murder.
I really didn't want to say it was Kiyo who did this because that felt way too obvious, but I guess that's the truth.
Knowing that, the person who drew the magic circle has to be the culprit.
Well, Kiyo?
Answer already! Did you do it?
I think the bad part about Kiyo is I like him so much just because like his whole design is probably my favorite design in all of Danganronpa, I have to admit. And I just like how he acts. He's super weird, but since the characters don't really interact with Kiyo all that much, it's kind of like I don't feel like anyone feels bad or is going to care that he died.
What is so funny?
I was just thinking.
The real reason I killed her, do you remember that one morning I was eating my pancakes and Tenko drank all the maple syrup? Are you serious? Yes, that was my maple syrup.
So this is how each blackened must have felt. What an intriguing experience this is.
What? An intriguing experience?
Was he interested in what it felt like to be a blackened?
But if I am the culprit as you claim, then I stomped on the floorboard, yes? So, do tell. How could I have stomped on the floorboard during that darkened seance?
What? Kiyo, how is that even that hard? You just walk over or jump.
I see. That is problem.
Unless that is made clear, you cannot be certain I am the culprit.
How can you be so calm when you're backed into a corner like this?
I will explain that in due time. Please answer my question first.
The culprit stepped on that exact floorboard even in the darkness. But how? How did they move around in total darkness? In a dark room, it's hard to imagine the culprit found the right board. It's really not that hard to imagine. Although, even after I put out the candle, I could move along the wall with my hand.
Wait a minute. Maybe...
Did you figure it out?
Kiyo's reptilian! He can see in the dark! Ah, you have me figured out, humans! That's it, the culprit didn't even have to see it all, they used... smell. A sixth sense. I just wanted to answer that, I knew that wasn't right. Perhaps the culprit saw beyond the material plane, a sixth sense. What are you saying at a time like this? Do you want to die?
I was wrong!
How was I wrong? That was a perfect answer. Hearing, touch, smell? Smell. Culprit used their sense of smell. What was there anything that smelled?
I was wrong!
Everyone's staring. I just want to see all these answers. Hearing. The culprit used. I know all of these are super wrong. Oh no, I didn't realize how little health I had left. Whoops. I just wanted to see all the wrong answers, honestly. The culprit used their hearing. I don't think there were any sounds besides the song and the stomp.
Oh no!
Everyone's staring at me. Damn, I made too many mistakes. Do they think I did it? Done debating already. The one thing I never got about the,
We can't let it end here!
The one thing I never got about how the fail states work in Danganronpa is the fact that everyone, like, if you're in a spot where there is an obvious culprit and you fail because you're looking suspicious, does that mean everyone just throws away all facts from beforehand and just turns to Shuichi? And they're like, you know what, you're acting pretty suspicious, Bob. And then Shuichi's like, but I thought we figured out who killed. They're like, no, I bet it's you.
It's just like Gonta said.
Blah, 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 blah. All the way back here? Jeez. That's a while back. I guess it's not that long. It just feels like a long time. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Kiyo's like, oh, pancakes. And then Gonta's like, oh. And Tenko's like, why do you guys keep taking pictures of me? And then Rontaro's like, hey, I'm super irrelevant. And she's like, I'm still in heaven with it too. And then Himiko goes like Ultra Instinct or whatever, and then Kaido smiles and tries to flirt with Maki, resulting in the next death being Kaido. And then Shuichi thinks for a little bit. And then we talk about the magical circle again, and Shuichi's like, hey Kiyo, you're a dum-dum. And then Kiyo's like, no I'm not, I'm perfectly sane. And I'm like, whoop, it's Kiyo again. And he's like, oh no, how did you know? He's like, cause you're shitty at drawing on the floor. And he's like, oh, I should have taken those drawing classes back in middle school. I'm like, damn straight. And Kiyo's like, I learned my lesson today. Practice makes perfect. And then he laughs because they're all having a good time together.
That's it.
There's the real answer. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Touch. They didn't see. They felt.
That way they could get around in the dark, like how I got to the candle.
Wasn't seesaw in middle of room? Gonta doesn't think it was near wall.
So they probably used something besides the wall to move then, right?
Were there any other markers within reach?
Of course, the answer to that is there was nothing of the sort.
No, I'm sure there was something. A landmark they could have used to determine where the floorboard was. It must have been at the scene, I know it. Hangman's Gambit. Let's try M. Magic. Circle. Wait, magic. Magic cigar? Sir. Okay, I was wondering because there just wasn't any L's. Cool. I need an E.
I see now.
Magic circle. I did it. I'm Shuichi the genius.
That's it. The magic circle. They used the magic circle. Remember? The magic circle was drawn with salt. The culprit used the salt's texture to feel their way through the dark.
Really?
I see. So Kiyo traced the magic circle with his hands to get to the loose floorboard.
Oh, I see. You drew the magic circle with salt to use it as a guide.
An interesting thought. It is unfortunate that it is so wrong.
What?
Recall the document. What did the magic circle look like?
Based on the document, the magic circle wouldn't reach the corners of the room.
So what?
When the room was darkened, each of us was in a corner of the room, yes?
But wouldn't they be able to hear Kiyo walking around on all those squeaky floorboards, though?
The magic circle didn't reach us, so I could not have followed it. Yes?
But you're talking about the magic circle in the document. That doesn't mean the circle you drew was the same.
No, I most definitely drew it exactly the same. I have it perfectly memorized.
So which is it? Is there any way to check?
No.
Not anymore. The magic circle is a complete mess from being trampled on.
I see another piece of the puzzle. Drawing the circle with salt all but guaranteed it would be temporary. The investigation itself would have gotten rid of the evidence. Clever.
Everyone, may I have your attention, please?
Kibo's recording function?
What a pain. We don't have any way to check it now.
Excuse me, everyone. May I have your attention, please?
Well, I guess there's no point in discussing the magic circle anymore.
Hey, may I have your attention?
Oh, I said cut that out! It's too bright!
I apologize. I just wanted everyone to listen to me.
Oh, Kibo, it's fine.
About what?
I had Miu add another function to my body, in addition to the flashlight.
For some reason, she added this metallic large object in my groinal region. I don't know what it's for. She just said we'll talk about it later. I am terrified.
What the? No way! Did you really? Stop! You can't! I didn't install it for that purpose!
Please, let me use it. With it, I might be able to save everyone.
What did she install and for what purpose?
Alright, so what is this function?
It's an image recording function.
Image recording?
Then why did you install it, Miu?
Specifically, this function allows me to dispense a printout of my own memory. I'll give it a try. Ready?
Is it gonna come out of his mouth? That's awesome.
From your mouth?
I've also used magic like that before.
This printout is my memory of being kicked out of the seance. Please confirm that the floor of the empty room is clearly visible. Go on, take the picture and see for yourself.
Okay, got it.
I reluctantly took the paper from Kibo's mouth. So this is the magic circle used for the seance. I see there are lines touching every corner of the room.
Well, Shuichi, do you notice anything?
Notice anything?
There! This helped a lot, Kibo. Without you, I never would have seen through Kiyo's lie.
My lie?
You just said that you drew the magic circle exactly as it appears in the document. But that's a lie, isn't it? The magic circle at the scene had lines that stretched to the room's corners, which means that you would be able to find the floorboard from anywhere in the room.
So it was different from the document after all.
All because Himiko noticed. And because of Kibo, too.
Hey, where's my thanks? I'm the one who installed that function into Kibo.
Kibo's just like, Miu, may I use the Magnum Dong Funk? No, that's for later.
Hey, yeah, what was it you were saying about its purpose?
Oh, to be honest, the purpose of that image recording function is to monitor my health. Specifically, I make Kibo use that function every day to analyze my turds.
Oh, ew.
Your what? Why? Shit is a great indicator of intestinal health and gut bacteria quality. Plus, taking a satisfying shit does wonders for a woman's natural beauty, so...
Miu, just, ew.
See? You're all grossed out! This is why I didn't want to tell you about my plan!
Quit talking about your poop. No one cares. Kiyo, you killed Tenko, didn't you? Just give up and admit it already.
So, Kiyo, if you have any objections, you can...
Your deductions are fiction.
I like that. Your deductions are
Since
fiction.
you've given me the option, I will most certainly object. To be honest, it's unimportant, but it may be an amusing diversion.
Unimportant?
Now I shall bear witness to your abilities, Shuichi. Do entertain me.
Kiyo, don't die. You're like my absolute favorite, dude. You're all welcome to draw Kiyo fan art.
If
Just
you are
saying.
going to claim I am the culprit, then what of the murder weapon?
Oh shoot, I forgot I have to do this.
It was set up in the cage. The only people capable of that.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be art of me or anything I did. It just has to be
So
of
suspicion
Kiyo.
should
I'm
fall
just
on
saying.
them.
More Kiyo art on this earth is fine. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I won.
True, we could have placed the sickle there, but we could not have removed it later. Because we weren't the ones who lifted the cage. That was Himiko.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I lift it. I had no opportunity to touch the sickle. So simply put, I am not the killer.
The dog statue. Sure that Kiyo's the culprit. He had a way of getting that murder weapon. I can prove
The only person who could
it.
have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I lift it. I had no
But you
opportunity
carried the dog
to touch
statue. Shit. I missed.
Oh no!
Did that... Is it
The only
because I
person
didn't
who
hit it, or
collected
because
the
I was
sickle
wrong?
was
Because I feel like I
But
was
the only
right.
people who could have
He
placed
did
the
help us
sickle are
carry the
Kokichi
dog
and Shuichi.
statue
But in
because it was
regards
too
to that
freaking heavy.
dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I lift it. I had no opportunity to touch the sickle. So simply put, I am not the killer.
It could have also been the sheet, though. But then again, Kokichi carried the sheet, so he would have noticed.
The only
The
person
dog
who could have
statue is the
collected
only thing
sickle
that...
was Himiko. But
I
the only
think he
people
could have
who
hit it in.
placed the sickle are But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
Oh
So
shoot, that
simply
cuts the whole
put,
thing?
I am not the killer.
Oh, you have to do it very specifically. I can't
The
do
only
it so it
person who
cuts the
could have
yellow
collected
part.
the sickle
Okay.
was Himiko. But the only people who could
There
have
we go.
placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I lift it. I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
I never touched the cage. Both placing and retrieving the sickle were impossible. Such hollow evidence will do nothing to change that fact. I made a mistake. I guess it wasn't the dog statue then.
So
Oh, I missed.
Because
Because I don't think he could have put it under the floorboard, because if he put it under the floorboard, then he would have had to place it under the statue or whatever. It had to be in there already, so it has to be the
only
sheet.
person who could have collected the sickle the cage, nor did I lift it. I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
Oh my god. That counts.
I'll cut through your words.
That counts.
The only person who could have set up the sickle and retrieved it afterward is Kiyo. That was done by covering the cage with a white cloth. You could have secretly placed the sickle when you draped the cloth. And retrieved it afterward when you removed the cloth. Then, while everyone was distracted, you discreetly dropped the sickle under the floor.
Wonderful! That's exactly correct.
Thanks, Kiyo. I appreciate you rewarding my efforts. What?
It's correct. Then why don't you give up already?
The trick I put so much work into is just wasted effort now. Alas.
I really want to know his motives, because what could Kiyo possibly want?
So, it was you? You killed Tenko?
Let me guess. You'll never forgive me. Himiko, you must hate me so very much. Maybe you'd feel better if I was executed by Monokuma. But unfortunately for you, that won't happen. Because if you vote for me, every spotless, including myself, will die.
What you talking about, Kiyo?
You still don't understand? I killed Tenko, that is the truth. But it is meaningless in this class trial.
Because Angie's the one that matters, right?
Meaningless?
You mean Monokuma's extra rule, right?
Ah, that's right. What happens to your votes if there are 2 blackened candidates? Well, that's for that. It's first come, first served.
You see, I killed Tenko, but not Angie. For us, Tenko's death is nothing but a trivial issue. Because the blackened in this trial is the culprit who killed Angie.
Trivial issue? No, that's gotta be a lie. You probably killed Angie too.
That is simply not possible. Recall that I was unable to enter Angie's lab.
Oh, only student council members and Kokichi could enter research lab.
How could I have possibly killed Angie when I couldn't even enter her lab?
We can figure that out. No one else could have done it besides you.
Because using a double murder to set up kind of a guard against the first one is really smart. I think Kiyo may have tried to do that.
If you're the one
Or distraction,
who
I
killed
should
Tenko,
say.
You gotta be the one who killed Angie.
I understand how you feel, Himiko, but maybe we can discuss this rationally and calmly. There is a non-zero possibility that Kiyo is telling the truth.
So you understand how she feels. I see. Wait, robots can understand human feelings?
Of course I understand. I worked really hard to understand.
Hey, why are you getting all worked up, Kibo? Chill, dude.
That's enough! It's voting time! I'm gonna vote for him!
Voting for me will only help the one who murdered Angie.
Isn't Kiyo culprit?
Of course I'm not. This case was an error on my part. Monokuma added that rule after both bodies were found, yes?
True, he couldn't have done that.
How was I to know that the trial would only be for Angie's killer? Had I known, I certainly wouldn't have killed Tenko.
You're lying! You killed Tenko and Angie!
Now hold on. Jumping to conclusions here is dangerous.
We should talk it out more. This case might have juicy plot twists waiting to happen.
Nuts to that! Any way you look at this case, Kiyo is obviously the culprit.
Yeah, there's sort of no other
Scrum
way to
debate
look at it.
incoming.
No, it's too dangerous to vote before we arrive at a logical decision.
The culprit's one of you! Wowee! This argument is getting intense!
The Ultimate Academy is proud to present its very own more phenomenal trial grounds.
I asked people what that meant, and people were just like, I have no idea what the more phenomenal in the trial grounds even stands for.
Yippee! I've been waiting for this!
Kokichi, I feel you on this one time.
Why were you waiting for it?
Kiyo confessed to killing Tenko, but insists he didn't kill Angie. We won't forgive Kiyo for what he did, but we can't vote until we know the facts. I have to pin down the evidence and convince everyone. Split opinion. Look at all those gears. Looks like some alien technology in this room. I love how no one ever questions some of this bullshit, like, guys, does this technology actually exist? And it's like, well, whatever, don't ask questions. By the way, before we start this epic segment, you guys told me I was talking to someone, I think it was in a stream, and like Monokuma's laugh, I always wondered why it was like up, 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 as if there was a typo or something. They just decided to stick with it. But no, apparently Monokuma's actual laugh is like, oh, boop, 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 boop. Like, it's insane. I just realized that over again.
Kiyo killed Tenko and Angie.
They didn't.
He forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
The katana was found in Kiyo's lab.
So Kiyo did kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
He was planning to use the new rule to protect himself all along.
We solved the mystery of Tenko's death. Can't we just vote now?
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Kiyo.
Lab.
I find it weird that I have Kiyo on my
The
side.
katana was found
Oh,
in
shit.
Kiyo's lab.
Or is it? Yeah, it's super the wrong one.
Possible. That rule was added
Shit.
after both murders.
The katana was found.
Kiyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
The katana was
Shit.
found in
Which
Kiyo's
one is
lab.
that? Which
So
one didn't
Kiyo
I
did kill
use?
Tenko, but he
This is tripping me up so bad because I don't remember which one was left. Because I used Angie. Oh man, I'm totally gonna fail this segment.
And Angie.
Kibo.
Because I know the first one.
Killed Angie.
He forced his way
It's not
into
lab.
Angie's research lab and killed her!
I got this! But he couldn't get into Angie's research
Oh, there we
lab.
go.
The katana
Yes.
was found in Kiyo's lab.
Kiyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
Let's see if I can get this all right.
So Kiyo did kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
Kokichi! Perhaps there's a second blackened we need to find.
He was planning to use the new rule to
Kiyo! Not possible. That rule was added after
There we
both
go.
murders.
We solved the mystery of Tenko's death. Can't we just vote now?
I got this! Not yet. There's still another mystery
Finally.
to solve.
On my last heart, too. Oh. No, we're not gonna vote now. I'm agreeing with the murderer.
This is our answer.
How does this actually work in game? Is Monokuma just monitoring who's yelling louder?
It would be a mistake to vote before we've completely solved Angie's murder. And there's still the mystery of Tenko's murder.
Mystery? What kind of mystery?
Well, Kiyo's confession derailed our conversation a bit. But we still have to go over one of the clues found at Tenko's crime scene. I believe it might even have something to do with Angie's murder.
Yes, the outlying piece of evidence at Tenko's murder scene. Oh no, if I fail this, what's the question? What was the clue that was found at the crime scene that hasn't been explained yet? Which crime scene? Gold leaf katana, the caged child, the flashlight, the white sheet, the dog statue? I want to say it's the duct tape, isn't it? Because it had Angie's hair on it. There was a bloody piece of tape underneath Angie's body. That's right, I wondered about that. I think we need a closer look at the whole situation so we can find out what happened.
I was wrong!
Wait, that's wrong? But it's right! You know what the sound was, we know what the white sheet was for, we know what the dog statue's for, we know why the circle exists, we know how Tenko died, we know why the stone's there, we know why the floorboard was loose, we know about the iron cage, we know about the hole in corner, we know about the cross piece under the floor, we know about the sickle, we know about the dried blood under the floor. It was quite far from where Oh.
This is it! The blood stain found under the floor. Maki and I found it during the investigation. It was beneath the floorboard that the culprit stomped on.
Is that Tenko's blood?
That bloodstain was too far from Tenko's corpse to have been hers.
Also, the bloodstain was already dry when we found it. But the blood from Tenko's body hadn't even begun to dry yet.
Well, that's weird. Why was that bloodstain the only dry one?
The bloodstain under the floorboard was dry because it was there before the seance, it was there before Tenko was killed. It was from the investigation, the air was dry. It was there before the seance. Because he killed Angie down there for some reason.
It wasn't from Tenko's murder. It was there before we started the seance.
Before the seance?
Well, that should make it clear whose blood it was. It was Kokichi! No, it was Angie.
That's it!
It's Kokichi fell in the other room, not that one.
That bloodstain wasn't Tenko's. It was Angie's.
Why was blood from Angie at the scene of Tenko's murder?
Yeah, wasn't Angie killed in her research lab?
Just because we found her body there doesn't mean she was killed there.
Ah, I guess that's possible.
If Angie wasn't killed in her lab, then that opens up a lot more possibilities. We assumed that only council members could have killed Angie since her body was in her lab. But if she died somewhere else, then we can't suspect just the council members anymore.
So the culprit didn't enter her lab, but waited for her to come out of it?
I'm not sure if the culprit waited for her, but they probably killed her when she came out. Well, I thought that was more likely from the start. So I went to places Angie might have gone and checked all 3 empty rooms.
Places she might have gone? Why did you check the empty rooms then?
The empty rooms were the only places I could think of that Angie would go.
Did Angie have business in rooms?
It seems Kokichi's up to his usual misleading nonsense again.